G'day and welcome to this week's edition of the Afl Riverina Football and Netball Show. We've got a ripping episode for you this week, joined by three former stars of the AFL, now doing wonderful things for the AFL in New South Wales. As I introduce first off Mark McVeigh, the State Talent Manager. Mark, welcome to you.
Thank you, mate.
The Under-16s State Coach Tadgh Kennelly, welcome.
Thanks, mate.
And Jason Saddington there on the end, the Under-18 State Coach. Thanks for joining us, Jason.
No problems.
Mark, we might start with you. First question off is, look, you retired from the Essendon Footy Club in 2012 last year. What are you currently doing with your career as a State Talent Manager?
I'm charged in a number of areas of New South Wales, and one of those areas that I am in charge of is the talent within New South Wales and helping these two guys be able to harness that. They do a tremendous job in coaching the state teams. I've done some specialist coaching in both the under-18s and under-16s. And another part of my role is to work with the Sydney Swans Academy, which has been fantastic to see how another AFL club, an elite AFL club, works and is able to develop their young players within New South Wales. And that's been a real eye-opener. I really enjoyed it.
Ty, next question for you, mate. Look, do you think the quality of players is improving coming into the AFL New South Wales ACT state programs, or do you feel that it's fluctuating a little bit?
Yeah, look, certainly it's my second year involved. I was involved last year as well with the 18s with Jason, my second year of the 16s, and certainly the standard has lifted already in a year. I think having both academies doing a pile of work, obviously the Giants are doing plenty of work down here, and the Swans Academy, and it's just developing the talent, getting good coaches, and the kids getting exposed to the better coaches in the competition in the AFL. Just gives them an opportunity to, I suppose, enhance and further develop their talents.
All three of you boys obviously had different paths coming through your juniors. A question for all three. Jason, we might probably start with you. Advice, what would you give to a teenager that has a goal for playing with their state age teams or even playing in the elite level at the AFL?
Yeah, I think the best thing you can do is practice your footy as much as possible, and it's not always the training within clubland. It's probably that unstructured time where if you kick the footy around the backyard, or if you've got a soft footy, kick it around the house. I think most people, we talk to a lot of players that played AFL footy, they'll talk about growing up and being able to do that. And I think that's probably a bit of a difference with some of the kids we have in New South Wales. When they go to school, they don't necessarily have a group of mates they can kick the footy with. So I'd say to young kids, just practice as much as possible, and even if that is, just some unstructured time of mucking around, practicing some of your trick kicks and those bits and pieces really helps.
Ty, you've obviously come from Ireland, so you had to pick things up pretty quick. Can you add anything further to that?
Yeah, similar to Jason in a way, I suppose. Look, my trade as growing up Gaelic football was off the side of the house at home as a kid. That's where I learnt my trade. Obviously, coming out here was a bit different. I had some fantastic coaches around me, but I just listened to all my coaches, what they did, and picked their brains. Really, I was I suppose a kid growing up. I'd come into the competition late, and I really had to do double, triple what everyone else was doing around me, and that's because I suppose I wanted to do it. And that's probably one thing a kid, if you want to become an AFL footballer, will keep dreaming, and there's lots of things and lots of resources and people around you that can help you to do that.
And Mark, you're inside midfielder for most of your career, and then kind of shifted to half-back in a kind of a shutting down role. Just as a kid growing up, obviously with your brother as well, no doubt you would have put many hour after hour into practicing your footy.
Well, I was fortunate that I had a younger brother to be able to kick the football with. So, and just as these two guys have just said, they were terrific footballers in their own right, and I've got a lot of respect for them. But not only do you work hard, we know all that, but enjoy your footy at a young age. I think that's important. There is a time in your life where it becomes, a high-pressured environment, and you'll deal with that. But while you're not at the elite level, play with your friends, enjoy that, and then those rewards will come if you work hard.
Jace, obviously a lot of interest in the under-18s boys this year. Look, you've been coaching the under-18 state team for a couple of years now. Which of the players in the squad do you think have really stood out in the carnival and therefore have the greatest chance of being drafted come November?
Yeah, I think probably one thing that's exciting for the region is there's two boys from down here that have a real opportunity this year, and that's Max King from Wagga and Jakey Barrett from Temora. They had really good carnivals. Jake really impressed in the midfield with his hard work, his hard running, good clearance work, and his defensive pressure. So Jake's given himself a great opportunity, to potentially take that next step. Max is a different story. He's probably a tall kid that hasn't really come into talent programs to the last 12, 18 months. Max has got really good hands. He's quite tall at 200 centimetres, very agile and mobile. And I think he's just starting to find his feet now with, around the talent that he's got and where he could potentially go. So those two boys from this region, certainly a great chance. There's a couple other kids, Mick Gibbons from Albury and Lloyd Paris from Sydney, who are probably a real shot this year.
A lot of hype about the 16s too, Ty. We've got guys like Jock Cornell from down here, Harvey Danaher, Charlie Bance. Just a few guys I'm sure that probably impressed you through the carnival. You just run us through your thoughts on a few of those.
Yeah, look,
boys.
we had a strong contingent from down here in New South Wales, the southern region. Charlie Bance is obviously a strong inside midfielder. He's played a bit of senior football for a young man. It's really impressive, and you could see that when he was playing 16s, really stood up. Harvey Danaher was centre half back, was one of our most consistent performers, so he was. And of course, Jock Cornell, hadn't played a whole lot of football full forward for us, but in the first game against Queensland, kicked 5 goals. And Lachlan Flagg was half forward, half back, and Jack Irvine was the same. He didn't start the carnival very well, but has a really long breaking left foot and has a big endurance tank. I mean, he was superb in the last game for us. So we had a really strong contingent from this region, and they impressed. Were probably our most consistent footballers throughout the carnival.
Mark, to you, 13, 14-year player with Essendon, long career. Is there one moment in your career with the Bombers that really stands out?
There's probably not one moment. I mean, I played in the 2001 grand final, and we lost that unfortunately, but there was just some great moments, Anzac Day times when we'd won some big games, some prelim finals that I was involved in stand out, and just the whole transition of being under Kevin Sheedy and James Hird. We know what type of people they are and what they bring to the game. So plenty of great moments. We'd love to get back, but I'm certainly enjoying my role with the New South Wales ACT AFL. It's been a really good transition.
I remember back to 1999, I think it might have been your first year, if not your second, playing in the number 10 on the MCG against the Swans. I think Jason Saddington might have been involved there too. Matthew Lloyd kicks 13 gols.
I must have been forward that day.
From memory of the 13, I think probably 11 or 12 of them, Mark McVeigh here just on the chest out in front.
Yes.
Remember that day?
Yeah,
That's
I do.
right,
I was a do. Only left, mate.
Right.
Only left foot. But I was a bit fortunate that day. I was young, and I don't think the players at that time really respected me, so they let me go, and I was able to get by myself a couple of times.
Just in regards to, we touched back on the younger guys that are really coming through the New South Wales system, their competitions. Is there an area that you'd like the local coaches perhaps to address and assist these players with in order to help them with their state level duties?
Yeah, I think probably a couple of big things that coaches can do with kids is really work on their kicking skills. To play AFL footy and at the elite level, you need to be a really good kicker of the footy. So I think the more focus coaches can put into kicking and time spent kicking with their players would really assist. And probably when kids start getting to 14, 15, 16, I think fitness starts to become a bit of a real issue as well. And again, if you want to play at the highest level possible, you need to be of fairly high fitness. So probably two components that coaches can really start to work on with, certainly their teenage year groups that they're coaching is kicking and fitness.
I'll leave this one open to the three of you. Should a talented underage player play under 17s football, like local football, or should they play first grade football to assist in their development? Would the bigger bodies help against the men, or should they be playing under 17s in their own age group?
It's probably a case-by-case scenario. It depends on the individual and what they're prepared for at that point in time. And certainly kids develop at different stages, around their maturity. You might get some 15, 16-year-old kids that are quite solid and have developed so they can withstand the physical nature of senior footy. Some other kids might still be, quite lean and probably not cope with that too much. I think a balance can sometimes be really, assistive to the players, that if they're playing senior footy regularly but they're struggling and they're not getting the kick, I don't think that helps them. But if they're going back and just playing 17s footy and it's a bit too easy that they can just roll out, cruise around and get 50 possessions, then that's probably not helping them either. So I think a real balance of the two it does assist players, but again, it does come down to the individual.
Would you agree with that, Tom?
Yeah, certainly. Look, I saw it myself, obviously, with Charlie Bance this year. You could see the 16s. He was used to the bigger bodies. He was really good inside for us and pretty much dominated the inside stoppages. But I very much agree with Jason. It's pretty much a case by case, and you don't want him, I suppose, fatiguing. And next year, as a 17, 18-year-old, when it's such an important year for him, obviously trying to get recruited, and you can see the bodies are fatigued from playing a year too early or too long senior football. I think it is a case by case, and the balance balance of being able to play with your own age group to get your confidence up, but also getting a taste of a bigger level or a level older than you is certainly can be a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. Spike, another quick one for you. Essendon-centric, the difference between coaching styles of Kevin Sheedy and James Hird.
Well, they're both from different eras, so it's Sheeds was a very positive coach, probably not structurally as sound as what James has brought to the game. The game's always changing, we understand that, so you've got to keep up with it. So I think that James is an outstanding coach in people management. That'd be his greatest skill. He's a great delegate towards some people that he's brought into the club in terms of Simon Goodwin, Sean Wellman, and of course Bomber Thompson. He allows them to address the players as much as possible, and it brings a range of ideas into the structure of the footy club. So I think just a totally different era, the way the game's played. Kevin Sheedy, get beat by 10 goals, really positive. Win by 10 goals, really positive. So he was a very level-headed coach.
Hey boys, thanks for coming in. Great to have you. Get a fantastic insight into not just the career paths you guys are taking as junior coaches and talent managers, but also how some of the gun youngsters from around the Riverina are going with their respective state teams. Thanks very much for being with us.
A pleasure.
We press on with this week's episode of The Footy Show. I'm now joined by Operations Manager of AFL Riverina, Shane Buchanan, to talk all things Riverina Footy League for round 16 and Farah Footy League for round 15. Shane, let's start with the RFL. First game on the Saturday, Ganmain versus Narrandera. What are your thoughts here?
Oh, I think Ganmain's form's been a lot better than Narrandera. I think Narrandera, no opportunity to play finals. The Lions should get over the Eagles.
Turvey Park versus Leighton Witten. Both sides probably fancy themselves in this game. Home game for Turvey Park.
Yeah, Turvey Park, look, form up and down. Young kids, they're playing and obviously trying to get as many games as they possibly can. Leighton's form hasn't been too bad, and I perhaps think Leighton should get over the young Bulldogs in that one.
Mangapla take on the Wagga Tigers, who are coming off the bye.
Yeah, look, this last time this game was a really good game. Went and watched that particular one. Three-quarter time the game was in the balance, and Tigers probably experienced, got them over the line. That game will be close, but I think probably Tigers got too many options up forward for them. Coolaman
still undefeated, coming up against the Griffith side.
Looking at that game, Coolaman's form's been pretty consistent. I think that they should get over the top of the Swannies.
Okay, Farah League, round 15. We press on to the Northern Jets versus the Rock. Should be a good contest, this one.
Should be a good one. I mean, final's not too far away now, so I mean, it's important that the Jets put in a really good performance against a team that is probably favourite to probably win the competition. But look, I think the Rock's probably got too much class in that particular one.
Colliamberley versus North Wagga. The Saints, huge win a couple of weeks ago against Temora. Who do we fancy there?
Yeah, look, both teams have had a challenging year, there's no doubt about that. I mean, it's at Collie, which is a positive for them. They seem to play better there, but I just think North Wagga's form has been a lot better in recent weeks than Colliamberley's.
We mentioned Temora. They travel to Mara to take on the Bombers. Crucial game, this one for Mara. They need to win it.
They do. There's no doubt about that. Look, as I said, like with the Jets, finals around the corner. Mara want to build momentum. Injuries are the thing for Mara at the moment. Who's in and who's out. They need their full team on the paddock playing some footy together. But I don't think they've got the cattle. I don't think they will get over the top of them.
We talk of crucial games. This one for East Wagga Karingal. They travel to CSU. They would be expected to win this game against the Bush Pigs.
Oh, definitely so. East Wagga's in some really good form at the moment. There's no doubt about that. They're fit, they've been well coached, and they'll have a major say in this year's final, and they've got too much to lose, and they'll get over the CSU Bush Pigs.
We are creeping ever so closer to finals for both of these leagues for season 2013. They are starting to take shape. Like we said before, there are some very important games going on this weekend. Your team will be involved in them, so make sure you get out to the games and cheer on the boys and of course the girls in the netball. That is all we have time for this week's episode of the AFL Riverina Football and Netball Show. Make sure you join us next week. We'll have another huge show on our hands. Until then, it's bye for now.